Hello, beautiful people of the world. Today I'm going to be talking about April 2021 astrology. Um, so, the first few weeks of April are really going to be very fast paced, a lot of action to be taken. There is a lot going on in terms of Aries and a lot of different planets moving into Aries, really up until the 20th. So I would say for a large majority of April, we're going to be dealing with a huge influx of Aries energy. Venus is going to be there, the sun's going to be there, Mercury is going to be there, and it's going to be a little bit of a party. Um, I think it's definitely a time to tap into your passions, to start new projects, to start new things, to do things that you've never done before, to go new places, to just follow your instinct, to follow your gut, to have some kind of adventure and independence during this month and really kind of rekindle that spark. We haven't really had a lot of fire energy for quite some time. It's been majoritively earth and air. We've been kind of stuck in place with our minds spinning. And while that is still happening to a degree, I think that there is really a window of opportunity with this Aries energy to do something different, to do something fresh, to get a little bit of fire going in here. Because even when we did have some Sagittarius energy, that was a little bit all over the place. And I think this is a more direct and grounded way to feel the fire within, because it, like I said, we've had so much earth and air energy that I think it will be a nice pace. However, I think that there is also going to be a bit of tension going on these first few weeks. Mars in Gemini and Neptune in Pisces are actually squaring from the beginning of the month to the 18th. So I think there's a bit of emotional tension going on here as a theme. Uncertainty, maybe indecision, difficulty moving forward, anxiety, interpersonal struggles. You might not really be able to make clear paths out of everything and the actions that you want to take. Mars and Gemini already kind of has that issue. And then squaring Neptune and Pisces, it really just becomes very disorganized. And it might be a little bit hard to function through Mars during that time, which is why I really suggest tapping into that Aries energy if you want to get things done, if you want to keep things moving, if you want to be more clear and direct, if you want to take actions and steps and follow your heart, follow your passions, and do things that make you feel very excited and energized. Definitely tap into that. Because I really feel like the Gemini Pisces tension here is probably going to start arguments, especially with the Aries energy. I think it's very prone to get into arguments or fights for the first 2 weeks. I think it can be pretty easy to get angry and frustrated right now and not really think about it and just pop off without second guessing it or worrying about consequences and just kind of getting into dramatic situations. So just keep that in mind as you're moving through the first few weeks, that there just might be a little bit of emotional tension, a bit of conversational tension, but that if you just fully flow into the fire and the joy and the passion that is being offered to us, I think you'll have a much easier time with this energy. It's a much easier to go with it than fight it. I don't think you can avoid it anyway. And if you need to hash out things within your relationship, then they need to be hashed out. But that's okay. Aries is really about direct confrontation so that things can keep on moving and flowing. So regardless of what ends up concluding from that, I think ultimately it will be positive, as it will be a step forward in whatever situation that you have going. On April 15th, a bit earlier than the other signs, Venus is going to be moving into Taurus, hanging out with Uranus over there. And then on the 19th, Mercury is going to be moving into Taurus. And then on the 20th, the Sun is going to be moving into Taurus. So we will have the Sun, Venus, Mercury, and Uranus all in Taurus, 4 times Taurus. So it's going to be a really big shift energetically from the triple Aries energy that we have going on for the beginning of the month. I think that, starting on the 15th and slowly trickling in, especially after the 20th, things are going to slow down very, very, like just slamming on the brakes when you're going 65 kind of an energy. Everything's going to be shifting from that very passionate, fiery place back down to a grounded moment. I think in this case, it might be a little bit slow and boring for some people, depending on the pace that you need right now, depending on your own placements. But I think for a lot of people, things might get ruffled up or crazy or very extreme during the Aries season. And when things move into Taurus, I think a lot of people will gain relief from the slower pace, the routine, the structure, the taking things a bit easier and focusing more on day-to-day tasks and your own body and your own self. Huge advice here would be to get into nature. With 4 planets in Venus, you really are going to want to connect somehow with planet Earth. It's really going to help you re-energize, feel very balanced, feel very calm, feel very peaceful, feel very connected. Of course, it's always a good time to get out into nature, but especially with this much Earth energy going on, I highly suggest planning some kind of hike, visit, outdoor adventure, and a moment of peace and meditation for yourself during this time. Speaking of meditation, I think that can also really help get through the Mars, Gemini, Neptune, Pisces square that we have going on for a large part of the month. Is if you feel like your wheels are just spinning and you're not getting anywhere and you're having interpersonal issues, I would just really take a minute to quiet the mind, to quiet the body, to quiet your feelings, to get everything aligned and centered. And that will really help you move through some possible confusion and misunderstandings if you just take a moment of clarity for your own self. Getting into nature, slowing down, trying to get into your routines. And again, with anything astrology, and I guess I'm going to say it twice in this video, a lot of times it's so much easier to go with the flow of the stars and tap into what they're asking you to tap into rather than fight it, because you can't really fight it anyway. So just try to slow down and enjoy that. Even if it's difficult for you, try to find some moments of peace and relaxation, because that's really what the energy is calling for. As well as eating healthy, eating fresh foods, listening to your favorite music, lighting a candle, lighting some incense, taking a bath. Taurus is in many ways about self-care, self-love, harmonics, being sensual, getting connected to the body and to nature. So I think that it's an incredibly beautiful opportunity to do that when there's so many planets there supporting that energy. And then on the 23rd of April, Mars is going to be moving into Cancer. So unfortunately, there still might be some emotional tension, I would say, moving like in a bit of the end of the month there. Mars in Cancer tends to get very defensive, and really only likes to make decisions based off of how they're feeling, not so much like logic or what they really need to get done. It depends on the mood. So it might be a bit more difficult to self-motivate for you than it was earlier in the month. and you're just gonna have to push forward and listen to that, listen to your intuition, and do the things that you need to do for your own emotional health. Try not to get too locked up with people. Try to be a bit more open to criticism or advice or people helping you. I think Mars in Cancer really struggles when it shuts down and gets very stubborn and locked into what they're trying to do without accepting any outside help or influence. But I don't really think it's the time to do that right now. I think it's more encouraging of emotional work and getting through what you need to get through. I think Mars is having a little bit of a struggle bus moment this month in terms of it just really wants to be on a clear track and move forward and get a bunch of stuff done. But with it being in Gemini and then Cancer, those are not necessarily the best placements for Mars to fully express itself and get done what it needs to get done. So you might feel a bit like you're holding back or that you're not accomplishing as much as that you wish that you could accomplish. But I really think it's important to forgive yourself and just do what you can get done. The world definitely is operating in a very strange way at a very strange pace right now. And so it's more than okay to take a day to rest, to take a day to not do anything if you don't feel like it. And waiting until you're really in the mood to work on the projects and things that you need to. In terms of the moon, the new moon is going to be in Aries again on the 12th. So that will be a very huge day for quadruple Aries energy and the new moon. Fresh starts, fresh beginnings. Things will probably really change up for you that day. It's something I would say to look forward to. I think it should be a pretty clean-cut day and very exciting. I think things will probably be a little bit different, and you're going to have to work that out for yourself. So I would just expect for the 12th to be a pretty high energy and differently organized day for you, but also it's a huge opportunity to birth something new into your life experience, into the way you're manifesting your reality. I highly recommend doing some sort of spell or intention work or prayer or mood not mood board, what are they called, like a vision board, something that you want to call into the world, something maybe you haven't done before or haven't thought of before. I think the energy is very susceptible and open to that, especially on the 12th. So calling forth some kind of new project, work, idea, vision, what have you into your life, I think it would really be supported at that time. On the 27th, near the end of the month, we have the full moon in Scorpio. And with Mars and Cancer there, I think that the very tail end of this month could be a little bit emotionally intense. We're going to be so slowed down with the Taurus, and then we're going to have this influx of water energy to really be sitting down and thinking about what's going on with us. And full moon in Scorpio is really about feeling every possible fucking feeling that you can, collectively, all at once, very deeply. It can be very intense for a lot of people. It can be uncomfortable. It can be emotional. It can be painful. It can be magical. It can be very intuitive, very eye-opening. Regardless, it's definitely a very effective placement. It's definitely a very strong placement for a full moon. Especially ending this entire month, I think that you're really going to be called to do a full tally and process of what you are going through, and your emotional experience and your emotional body. And if anything is out of alignment, it's going to become very obvious on that day, which is a blessing and a curse. It's probably not super enjoyable while it's happening, but if you're able to pick up on some of the things that you need to work on, then it's definitely beneficial from that perspective. So, yeah, overall, I think there's going to be a fair amount of emotional tension to work through this month. mostly because of Mars and this Scorpio moon and all of this Aries energy kind of giving everybody very hot and heated. But I also think there's a lot of opportunities to get moving, to get started on things, to birth new projects, what have you. And then I think with the Taurus energy, there's a really good opportunity to set some structure and routine back into your life and calm down a little bit from all of this and get very grounded in nature so that you can do the inner work that you need to do. Yeah, overall, I don't think the stars are getting too much easier on us. But I really do think that the Aries energy will bring a lot of positivity into a lot of people's lives, even though it will bring probably some nasty fights. I think it's really all going to be okay. And at the end of this month, I think we'll really be more completed as people, as we all always continue to grow and experience life. The Aquarius Taurus square between Saturn and Uranus is still happening, and it's continuing all month, and it's been going on all year, and it's the struggle between the self and society, and clearly we are very disconnected right now, and that square is continuing to push forward. So there really is not any resolution there this month. I think that is just still going to be the theme of this year, and trying to work through this pandemic the best that we all can, while trying to keep our sanity and our spirits up. It's been very difficult couple of months for me. I know I've been late making these videos, but we've had multiple exposures at the place where I work, and things have been very intense and shifty and all over the place, and trying to do the best that we can during a very difficult time to be operating and working and just keeping it together. So if any of you out there are having a difficult time, or have become ill, or know someone that's ill, or your job is driving you up a wall, I totally understand, and I'm wishing that some of that will resolve for you, and that things will get a little bit easier. So just wanted to send my love to everybody that is watching this, and I hope that you have a very good April. Peace.